Previously on Project Poker.
Guys, we did it. We did it. Wow, they've got aces or kings.
Who do you think you are? I am!
Into this tournament, extremely hot. We did it. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Welcome to Las Vegas. We know you're ready to go, but please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and carry on.
We are in Canada, that is ice. We are 3 hours away from Las Vegas.
Officially in Las Vegas, guys. Let's go. So this is going to be the whip for the first 7 days that we are here.
Come with me like Yoko. We can go lose ourselves in Tokyo. No one's gonna know we'll move like locals.
Here we are, Humo Barbecue. Look forward to seeing what the crack is with this place. 4.6 out of 5 on Google. Yeah, we are starving. First place that we are eating in Las Vegas. Hit the spot. That's where we want to go, baby. The Venetian. Boring session, guys, can't lie. Lost $22, but yeah, this one is just going to be the result, unfortunately. What is happening, guys? It is the next day. I'm sharing an Airbnb with the host, and she has the cutest dog. Look at this. Oh, Tina. We are on our way to the Venetian poker room. It's so nice, man. Look at this. First session out here in Las Vegas. Wasn't too interesting. We made a loss of $23, so we move on to second session, where the first hand for the vlog is pocket jacks early on. Please excuse the footage as I only managed to capture the showdown of this hand. So we open in early position, next act calls, button squeezes to 40, big blind calls 40, but I did not see this call, which I don't know how I didn't see it, but there you go. I think button is going to be squeezing slightly light if he isn't tight, but we don't know him. I still opt to 4-bet and go to 100, not knowing about the big blind call. Otherwise, it would have gone larger. Actually, now folds to the big blind who calls, and I'm at this point pretty happy about the situation. Fair to say we're probably ahead at this point. Big blind was drinking a beer and looked like a fun player.
Nobody's that lucky. Why, Ike? Whatever do you mean?
So heads up we go with him to the flop, which comes the very first card, an ace, followed by a 7 and then 6, but all of diamonds, which all in all isn't too bad when we hold the jack of diamonds. He checks to us, and with our hand and an SPR of 1, I can see a case for maybe just going all in, but I decide to check. Turn doesn't change much, another 7. Now villain bets 80. I think we just call here. Brickiest of bricks on the river, and now he checks. So I think we can remove him. Having an ace, I think we're probably just good. So should we just go all in, given his range? I do end up checking back though, which I think is questionable to try not get value from 10s through 8s, but we flip over and expect to be good, and we are versus King Queen off.
Maybe poker's just not your game, Ike. I know. Let's have a spelling contest. I bet if I just ring your sternly down.
Shortly after, guys, we are put in an interesting spot. I want to know what you would do in the big blind with pocket 10s, middle position, who, if I had to guess, was playing proper ranges pre-flop, so on the tighter side. Then there is a field caller, and now the button, the villain from the previous hand, who has added on and possibly on tilt, decides to jam his $275 stack. So what would you do?
Let's party.
problem I have here is I think we are probably ahead of button. If he had aces or kings, he probably wouldn't just jam here. Maybe makes this play with jacks for protection against overs and a headache having to play that hand post flop. However, we are just short of 200 big blinds with the initial raiser, so for that reason I do reluctantly pitch this one into the muck. Initial raiser does end up calling, and the button takes this one down with pocket deuces. I believe initial raiser had ace king. Next hand is versus a fellow content creator. Shout out to LA Poker Roundup podcast.
Look, darling, Johnny Ringo. What do you think, darling? Should I hate him?
Who raises to 10 before it folds to us in the small blind with kings. I raise to 40 and we go heads up to a dreaded ace 9-5 rainbow flop. I check out of position and he checks back, which on this dry flop I don't think caps his range too much. Turn is another 5, bringing in a flush draw with it. And after I check again, he now bets pot. I think he is capable of bluffing, so if I call turn, I will probably need to commit to a call on the river too versus this aggressive player type, so for that reason I do just let this one go. In retrospect, I think a better play in our spot would be to just block both turn and any clean river card. He claimed to have a hand like queen 10 of spades, if I remember correctly. Well played, we move.
No, I'm sure of it. I hate him.
LA Poker has now opened in middle position. We defend queen 10 off in the big blind. Flop is a nice one. King, queen, jack, rainbow, open-ended with a middle pair. We check, he bets half pot, we call. Another king on the turn, we check it over. He bets a little over half pot, we call. River goes check, check, we get one back onto the next one.
That's what I thought you had.
Evidently, Mr. Ringo's an educated man. Now I really hate him.
We open pocket jacks first to act, get 2 callers. Flop is a delightful 3-9-4 with 2 clubs. We retain our overpair, checks to us in the sandwich, and I definitely think we have to bet for both protection and value. I go 20 into 48, both players call. The turn is lovely, another 3, so when it checks to me for the same reasons as on the flop, I now bet 50 into 108. Middle position calls again, and interestingly now, small blind, who was the one jamming deuces earlier in the session, decides to raise it up to 220. I literally put him on 3x, which is disgusting, and fold. Find out he did have queen 3 of spades, so of course we move on, very happy with our decision to fold here.
Oh, Johnny, I apologize. I forgot you were there. You may go now.
The big slick. LA Poker has opened in early position, cutoff has called, and on the button I squeeze to 40. Only LA Poker makes the call. Heads up, flop comes queen 5-8, 2 diamonds. He checks it over and I bet small. He calls. Turn does not do us much favors. It is the 9 of diamonds. Brings in a bunch of draws and 2 pairs, and overall I think it's just better for the pre-flop caller, so I check it back. Now the river is another queen. He checks it over again, and I unfortunately don't even think it's worth a bluff here. Our hand might also be good, so I check it back, and he takes it down with 5-3 of clubs. Nice hand, we move. Picking up a sexy suited Broadway now in Jack 10 of diamonds. LA Poker has opened and is driving the action on this table. 2 callers in the field, and we end the small blind and decide to squeeze to $60 heads. LA Poker makes the call, of course, and everyone else gets out of the way. Heads up once again to a dreadful 6 ace 7 2 heart flop. We have absolutely nothing. I check and LA checks back. Turn is a 3 of hearts, worsening our odds. I actually think we could bet now after he checks flop to start a story, but instead I check, which is pretty weak. But again, LA checks back and the river probably saves us with the jack of spades. Nothing to do but check, I think, and he checks back and we take this down with pure luck.
Oops.
Ace 3 of diamonds next. A tight passive player in early position who covers us has min raised to $6, and I decide to just call to try to hit a nutted hand. Button calls as well, and we go 3 ways to ace queen 4 all of clubs. We hit top pair, we kicker, but when the tight passive initial raiser bets pot now into 2 players on a monotone flop, I think it's just a fold and we move. Moving on to 8-7 of hearts. We raise it up in the cutoff and now get 3-bet by the button, who we've not had the chance to speak with much yet. But I sensed he was a tight for-profit player and potentially a reg. But nonetheless, I think we are deep enough to call with this speculative hand. Flop comes pretty bad. 2-5 king to club, so we have nothing. He checks back though, which we don't mind, and the turn brings in the 9 of diamonds, so we pick up a gutty, and I decide to start a story with a small bet to see what he wants to do, and he just wants to call. So I think he most likely has queens through 10s after 3-betting pre-flop and checking back on the flop. I think his range is quite narrow. River is a queen of diamonds, so obviously we are getting snapped by queens now. Well, actually raised. You might also have a hand like jack 10 suited, queen jack suited, but those hands don't always 3-bet free. So the hands I'm trying to target is just 10s and jacks. This queen will downgrade those further, so I think this is a fairly decent spot to go for the 2/3 pot bet. Maybe I could even go half pot, but anyway, he goes into the tank for like 30 seconds before folding. I'm not too sure on the sizing, but it worked out. Let's go.
Taking a few strong with nuggets on it. Yeah, you start popping and then too much.
+2 has raised to an above average size on this table, $14, and I think I usually 3-bet here, but he is fairly short and would hate to get 4-bet by a hand like ace king, so I elect to just call with players behind being quite passive as well. The blinds call, who were both clearly recreational players. Flop comes 10 ace 9 rainbow. Bottom set, let's go, checks all the way to us, and I bet just under half pot. I could probably just go a larger here to target ace-x and draws that probably wouldn't fold to a 2/3 pot sizing. Anyway, small blind and initial raiser both make the call, and the turn is not great. The 8 of diamonds, so queen jack now is a straight. Action checks to me, and this is where I think I lose my mind. I, for some reason, check back. I think just a blunder here, as we want to bet for, well, main reason, value, and we also get information if they just call. But by checking, we go to the river with neither of those, and it's a king of diamonds, so now the flush gets there. Now +2 leads for half pot. I'm not sure where we stand. I just make the call. Small blind now decides to raise to 200. +2 gets out of the way, and I'm just kicking myself in the tank. I know it's a weird line I've taken, but what do you think you would do in this spot? I eventually decide to let it go, never finding out his hand. All we can do is turn this one into a lesson. And it's unfortunate because I thought I had played quite well up until this spot. The costly mistake of not deciding to bet turn here is likely what has caused us to lose a chunk of our profit in this one. Moving on from that disaster hand, we brush that to the side as we pick up ace jack of hearts on the big blind. There are 3 limpers before us, and I elect to just call to try hit a monster and cooler someone. Although squeezing might still be the better play here, to be fair. Flop is very good to us. Queen 10, 3, 2 diamonds. We pick up a bunch of stuff. We check, and sadly, action does check through. On the 7 of diamonds, I decide to bet very small, and only the initial pre-flop raiser just makes the call, which we are happy to see because I feel like we can confidently narrow down his range to be an under pair at best, as he would likely have c-bet a queen or better on the flop more often than not. But when the river is a jack of diamonds, slight change of plans for us. We probably have him beat now, so I think the best play is to just check to keep his bluffs in, and he does bet 25 into 71, nothing to do but call, and as expected, we are good. Next up, we have red 9s in the small blind. A loose passive has opened and hijack has cold called in the field. I squeeze to 50. Only the hijack calls with only around 165 more behind. Flop comes queen 4, 6, 2 hearts. I check, he checks back. 5 of spades is nice. Introduces some draws though. I think we want to bet now for value. Protection, information. I go around 3rd pot, and that gets the job done. Middle position with around 250 behind has opened. We peel king, queen of diamonds, and 3-bet to 50. Middle position calls, heads up, flop comes 5, 7, 9, 2 diamonds. SPR is 2. I see bet for 1/4 pot. He calls pretty quickly. The turn might just be the best card to bluff to bluff on in the jack of spades. So with only just over a pot-sized bet behind, we go all in. He snap folds. Nice. Let's go. We play a few more orbits after this one before calling it a night. So guys, we have just finished that session and we booked our first win whilst out here in Las Vegas. I made some mistakes there today. I did find out that the guy who raised us on the river to 200 was apparently, he claimed to have only a pair of 10s. Maybe I should bet again on the turn. Oh, I don't know. I think I played it okay. I mean, that turn just wasn't great for us. I think he had all 16 combos of Queen Jack, so yeah, really wasn't a fan of that turn, and yeah, I just felt I needed to pop control and check back there. Anyway, we're gonna walk around here and see Wagwan. We're gonna see Wagwan.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.